They handed me the script and called me the female lead. It felt unreal. My hands were trembling. My heartbeat was louder than the studio lights above me. I smiled, because this is what every girl dreams of, to stand under the lights, not as a side face, but as the main character. The story's heartbeat, just like my first show, Barrister Babu. I didn't even know who the hero was at first. I didn't ask. Maybe I was too lost in my own little fairy tale. Maybe I thought it wouldn't matter, because no matter who stood opposite me, I knew I would give my everything. And then I saw him. I couldn't see his face clearly. I could only see the male lead standing near the director. I froze. For a second, my script slipped from my hand. It hit the floor. No sound could compete with the noise in my head. How could it be him? That too Pravisht Mishra, my first male lead? He looked up at me, and I swear, the moment our eyes met, the whole set went quiet. Or maybe it was just my heartbeat drowning everything else out. He looked surprised too, genuinely, deeply surprised. Like he never imagined me here. I nodded, smiling, maybe nervously. He didn't return my smile. He just looked from me. He never imagined me here. Before I could even breathe out a sigh, he asked, "You're the female lead?" The director said that I am now old enough to act as the female lead. The silence was deafening. Each passing second made the situation feel more surreal. I couldn't help but keep looking at him. His face was expressionless. It was my turn to take on the role of the female lead. He repeated my name twice, his voice still emotionless, as if he were confirming what he had heard. It was as though he was connecting the dots of our shared past, the moments that made me who I am. He asked, "Are you ready for this? If you don't want, we can change the roles." But my heart knew my answer before I did. I looked him straight in the eyes. "I've been ready my whole life," I responded. He returned with a simple word, "Fine." No speech or apology, just a nod. The director was already setting up the camera, adjusting the lights. He moved towards the light. I just stood there watching the script. It was almost amusing to see how relaxed he looked, with scriptwriter pointing at the script and exchanging ideas. I just waited quietly in my costume, already in full makeup with no idea of what was next. Then, suddenly, he turned to me with that same mischievous spark in his eyes and signaled me to come closer. I walk forward as he instructed and stands in front of him. He didn't let me read it for long though. Instead, he said, "Come with me." Before I could even ask why, he was already walking ahead, half dragging me along by my wrist. And then I realized he was leading me back towards the makeup room. I follow him into the makeup room. For a second, I just rolled my eyes. "Can't you see the makeup on my face?" I asked in a mocking yet teasing way. But he only laughed in that annoying yet sweet way he does whenever he knows something I don't. "This isn't about that," he said simply. The room was completely empty. The smell of makeup and hairspray was faint, lingering in the air. He turned around and suddenly extended his hand towards me, silently inviting me to shake it. Then he said, with a grin, "Well done, you've met me again." I couldn't help but laugh at his sweetness. I shook his hand and answered, "Oh yes, but this time in a different show." I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the big mirror, and I reached for my hair to fix it. "I gave my best in the audition," I softly voiced. As I looked back at him through the mirror, I met his gaze and saw the soft pride shining in his eyes. He didn't need to say the words out loud, but I understood the message loud and clear. "Yes," he agreed. "You did really well." A couple of members stepped into the corridor, wanting to chat with him. He didn't budge from his spot. The grip around my wrist remained firm, as if he didn't want the precious moment to end. The conversation between him and the members lasted for a few minutes. They discussed various matters. The members chimed in with their comments, praising our performances. They mentioned how we had nailed every scene and how our chemistry was top-notch. One member remarked, "It's almost unbelievable how well you two work together. Your connection on screen is truly something special. People are going to love the new show, no doubt about it." There were similar sentiments. One member remarked, "Aurra is indeed a talented actress. She has a special connection. The fans just love you two together, and the chemistry you have on screen is undeniable. Your performance in the old show was outstanding, and the upcoming one will surely be a hit." They gestured for us to follow them, and we walked together through the bustling set, side by side. There it was, a massive dining table set up for a royal feast. The aroma of warm, delicious, mouth-watering food. It seemed like a grand celebration, yet nobody had informed us of the real food preparation. "Congratulations on your successful audition. We are delighted with your talent." I couldn't help but smile at their kindness. Hearing the compliments made me feel a sense of satisfaction and gratitude. Pravish took a seat beside me. You've earned it. He noticed me gazing at the food and chuckled gently. We laughed at silly moments, recalling funny anecdotes and exchanging ideas for the new story. As we talked, ideas continued to flow between us. I shared my thoughts on different scenes, how we could create unforgettable moments, and how we could surprise the audience. He in turn joked about how he should write the script himself since he had so many ideas. I retorted playfully, teasing him. Maybe you should write the script then, I suggested with a laugh. He shook his head, laughing. And what would you do? By the time dinner ended, I was full.